What first comes to mind when you think about Bali? Some people would think about the beautiful beaches, turquoise waters, and the influx of surfing, sunbathing, and relaxation that come with this impression. Others would consider the rich Hindu culture that is practiced throughout Bali, with ornate temples, vibrant ceremonies, and astounding rituals being a common part of everyday life. But what if I told you that deep beneath the charm of the surface lies a tragic story? Individuals with disabilities in Bali are often subjected to unfair treatment, to say the least. For instance, being kept locked up at home, hidden away from the rest of society, and being treated worse than animals, among other examples. In Balinese tradition, it is believed that having any form of disability is the reincarnation and punishment for being a bad person in a previous life. Children and adults with disabilities are not seen as normal people who have the same needs as everyone else. To receive proper healthcare, education, and be able to participate in the workforce. Many have resigned themselves to their fate as the invisible and unwanted people within society. I came across this heartbreaking story on the Kupu Kupu Foundation's website, shortly after I started with my Quest ideation process, and immediately I knew this was something that I wanted to base my project around. I was determined to make a difference and attempt to support people struggling with disabilities. So I started my quest, Equality for All, which connects to SDG 10.2, reduce inequalities and promote the inclusion of all. But first, I decided that more research about this topic was necessary. Through this research, I gained a deeper understanding of how people with disabilities are affected on a global scale. For example, according to the UN, around 15% of the world's population has a disability, which is more than 1 billion people. Further research conducted by the UN in late 2022 also shows that around 5% of Indonesians have a disability. And a study by the World Health Organization shows a higher prevalence of disabilities among low-income populations due to obvious reasons such as lack of access to necessities such as proper healthcare and medical treatment. Lastly, the Kupu Kupu Foundation estimates roughly 12,500 Balinese have a disability, although it was revealed that many individuals with disabilities in Bali are reluctant to participate in surveys such as these. So the numbers could be even higher than recorded. In the end, these statistics did not intimidate me, but instead inspired me even further to make a difference and attempt to support people with disabilities. So I reached out to a few organizations around Bali that aim to create a better life for people with disabilities. I started by contacting an organization called Yayasan Peduli Kemanusiaan, which translates to the Humanitarian Care Foundation in English, and I had my first meeting with YPK at the Annika Linden Center a week after. YPK's main focus is to provide rehabilitation to people with physical disabilities, and since I had very limited experience with this, we came to an agreement that I could sell their t-shirts and other merchandise during events such as Spirit Fridays, as they were not receiving enough customers and were in need of the funds. At the Annika Linden Center, I was also introduced to another organization, Prispadi. I was very motivated to work with Prispadi because I had previously come across their website and I thought their story was very inspiring. 2/3 of their staff also suffer from disabilities, and yet these individuals are still so dedicated to improving the lives of others going through similar struggles. I shared my project with Prispadi's administration team, and they were both eager to work with me and enthusiastic about the opportunity to receive action-based support. Obviously, a large number of Prispadi's clients were reliant on wheelchair armrests, which are a crucial component of the wheelchair due to the armrest being one of the main supports for the wheelchair user. So of course, it is important for the armrests to be both comfortable and durable, as they endure a high amount of daily usage and are prone to damage. I noticed the lack of these qualities within Prispadi's wheelchair armrests, and I was disappointed to see that a number of Prispadi's wheelchair armrests were not in the best condition. So I was determined to do something about this issue and attempt to create a potential solution to the problem. Prispadi also conveyed the need for someone to sell their merchandise, similarly to YPK, as they also were not receiving enough customers and were in need of the funds. So I decided to take them up on this offer as well. Over the next few days, I thought back to Prispadi's need for more durable wheelchair armrests, and it is throughout this time span that I began drafting ideas on how I could create a potential solution to the problem. I struggled to come up with ideas for days on end, until finally, I received some news that would drastically change my project, for the better. My dad was very enthusiastic about the concept and potential of mycelium products after returning from a presentation hosted by Mycotech, an organization of mycelium producers, and I was intrigued and inspired to dig deeper. As I looked further into this, I came across a product known as mycelium leather, and I was amazed to find out that this simple product, made up from the root structure of fungus, could potentially be incorporated into a large variety of projects and creations. Mycelium leather is a much more environmentally friendly alternative to products such as animal or synthetic leather because it can be grown and produced without using any polluting substances, and once finished is 100% biodegradable and compostable. The final material is also extremely lightweight and flexible as well, making this product effective for a wide range of applications. And it hit me. Could I come up with a way to turn mycelium leather into a potential solution to the armrest issue that Prispati was currently facing? I was determined to find a way to connect this revolutionary innovation to my main project. So I reached out to Mycotech, an organization of mycelium producers in Bandung, Java, to see if they would provide me with the materials necessary for the construction of my armrests. Eventually, I purchased the mycelium, but I was informed that it would take almost 1 month to arrive. Of course, I needed money to buy these materials, so I pitched my idea in late February to the Project Hub team in hopes of receiving a grant for my project. At this point in time, I still had not come up with a clear idea on what material I was going to use for the padding of my armrest. So I was very lucky to receive feedback from a parent who was viewing my presentation. This individual had connections to various hotel companies across Bali, so I was advised to reach out to these hotels and inquire about using their unwanted quilts and mattresses. Eventually, I decided to reach out to the Hilton in Nusa Dua, and we agreed to have a further discussion about my project in person. In mid-March, I went to Nusa Dua, and after a long discussion, the management team agreed to support my project by providing me with access to their used quilts and mattresses. After this, my order of mycelium leather arrived at school, and I had all the components needed to create my first armrest prototype. I used recycled plywood from the iHub as the frame for my armrest, the interior foam of a mattress quilt for the padding of my armrest, and lastly, mycelium leather as the exterior of my armrest. I completed construction on my first armrest prototype after a short time span of only 2 weeks, and in late April, I also completed construction on my second armrest prototype in a similar time span of about 2 weeks, although I also took time to gradually make minor improvements on both armrests. Shortly after this, I got an email from the Project Hub confirming that they were willing to provide me with a grant of 900,000 rupiah to purchase the materials necessary for the construction of my armrests, and with this, I was finished with the main objective of my quest. Throughout the time span of Quest, I was also taking the opportunity to sell t-shirts, water bottles, and other merchandise provided by YPK and Prispati at the Green Shop and during events such as Spirit Fridays to raise money for the benefit of these organizations. I aimed to raise at least 3 million rupiah for this purpose. And not only did I raise this much, but I raised 4.7 million rupiah. Now I would like to present my finalized product, my proposed model of sustainable wheelchair armrest, to you, the audience. If you would also like to support my project through donations, feedback, or any other methods, then please feel free to do so and reach out to me through my Green School email, as I will be continuing this project after Quest and after grade 8. In conclusion, this project really helped me to grow as a person by increasing my awareness of the situation that people with disabilities have to go through, especially in Bali, and also helping me to realize how fortunate I am to have the opportunity to support these people. I think my project has great potential with enough support, and I truly believe it can promote social justice within our community and beyond. More importantly, my journey is not over yet, and I will continue supporting people with disabilities in any way possible, regardless of the fact that today is presentation day. Lastly, I would like to end my speech with a quote. As Martina Navratilova once said, "Disability is a matter of perception. If you can do just one thing well, you're already needed by someone. I think we should all learn a lesson from this quote and start to pay attention to the skills and values of individuals with disabilities. Finally, my quest would not have been possible without the help of everyone who supported me throughout this journey. I'd like to thank Ibu Angie, Ibu Emma, and all the other quest mentors that helped to revise and edit my speech, provide me with feedback on my project, and in general helped to guide me through my journey. Thanks to YPK and Puspati for sponsoring my project and providing me with support and encouragement throughout my quests. I'd also like to give a shout out to Paklo and Prutri for providing me with feedback on my project, helping to expand my knowledge of mycelium, and also helping me get in contact with Mycotech. And to the Project Hub for providing me with feedback, assistance, and financial support for the construction of my RMS. Your support is greatly appreciated. Thanks to Ibu Prutu for providing me with an additional space to promote and sell my products at the Green Shop, and to everyone who supported this by purchasing my products at the Green Shop and during Spirit Fridays. Thanks to you, the audience, for taking the time to hear about my ideas and hopefully supporting my project as well. And lastly, thanks to my mom and dad for helping to inspire my project and providing me with unconditional support and assistance throughout my quest.